Hello and welcome to Sounding Board, a community access television program of Seroptimus International of Novato. My name is Madeline Peters and I'll moderate today's discussion. We have two guests here. We have Rachel Lee and Patty Domingo, and the program is Miss Marin County Scholarship Association. I'm going to have Rachel and Maddie introduce themselves, but first just a few words about Seroptimus International. It's a global volunteer organization working to improve the lives of women through social and economic empowerment. Well, Rachel Lee, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And Maddie Domingo also.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate the opportunity to spend time with you and really kind of showcase what this is all about. This is the scholarship program. You two are excellent representatives of this. You look fantastic.
Thank
the banners
you.
and your crowns. I think I want a crown the next time we meet too.
Oh, absolutely.
So, but first, what I'd like you to do, this is going to be your program, kind of describing the what this means to you, what the program is, what this means to you. But first, let me start with you, Rachel. Tell a little bit about yourself, and then Maddie, I'll have you tell a little bit about yourself before we go on. Go ahead.
Well, my name's Rachel. I'm sorry, are we speaking to the camera for this?
Yeah, just to me.
Okay. My name's Rachel. I am the current Miss Marin County 2017. I am a junior at SRJC, Santa Rosa Junior College, studying communications for transfer.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, and Maddie.
I'm Maddie Domingo. I'm 15 years old and I'm a sophomore at Marin Catholic High School.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, again, we have two people from our community who are representing youth, women, young women, in a very innovative scholarship program. This program is yours, so one of the things that we talked about is just kind of creating a context for the things that you feel that is very important to educate the public about this program. So I want to start off with you, Rachel, and then you can add your perspective as well and go on into like sort of like the history of Miss Marin and what it means. It's more than a beauty pageant.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it absolutely is. Well, the Miss Marin County organization is a nonprofit organization that has its roots in empowering women, similar to the Seroptimist. We have our annual pageant. But before that, there's a lot of prep work that goes into it. We take interview classes, we learn walking, posture, on-stage question, and really it's about building confidence for young women and at the same time giving them scholarships to continue higher education.
Okay, so really getting to the core mission of really empowering women. As you said, it's very similar to Seroptimus International, because that's the global perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, Maddie, what's in your perspective, and what can you add to this about the importance of this organization, the history?
Yeah, I totally agree with Rachel. This isn't just a beauty pageant. The people that put their work into this, it's like Rachel said, it's a nonprofit organization. All of us contestants are very smart, educated, confident young women, which we are trained to be during the months of preparation. And I do feel like there's a stereotype for pageant girls as just about the looks, and it's not the case at all. There's so much preparation and so many different aspects that the judges look at when they're looking at contestants.
Well, you've both mentioned what goes into this and the training and the preparation. Why don't you expand on that a little bit more? Because, again, it's not just people getting together and looking great and going up on stage. You've done a lot of work.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like, just in terms of your decision to start and get involved in this, there was something about the organization that appealed to you. So can you speak to the prep work and the training that you touched on?
Yes. Well, personally, I had the same misconception that a lot of people do about pageants, which is that it's just a bunch of beauty queens full of themselves, like arrogant girls that just get up there so they can wear a crown. And when my coworker and roommate heard about the Miss Marin County organization and the Miss America organization and did a little more research, she found out that it wasn't that at all. 35% of our overall score is talent. 25% is interview, 20% is on-stage questions. So a big majority, a large portion of your score has to do with who you are as a person, your confidence, your ability to speak, command the attention of a room. And so she learned that and then told me about it and told me that every single person who competes in Miss Marin County earns a scholarship no matter what your placement is. You don't have to win the crown to win a scholarship, which is completely different from every single pageant in America.
That is amazing. That is amazing. I did not know that as well.
Yeah.
So there was an awful lot of training. Can you add to that, just in terms of the prep work, the speaking, and obviously, you know, all of the different components that go into the score?
Yes.
But go ahead. And
I think it was 4 months before the competition, we started meeting every Sunday for 2 to 3 hours. And the director, Michelle Moser, would, number one, teach us how to do interview, how to speak confidently, how to form your own opinions, and display them to an audience that makes yourself look like you're a smart, educated woman. That was the funnest part for me because I love speaking in public, and I do think that as Miss Marin County's Outstanding Teen, I've grown a lot when it comes to communicating with people about my opinions, and that was a really nice part about the entire preparation process because I learned a lot about myself.
okay, good. So again, meeting for 4 months, several hours a week, and the whole concept of interviewing and on stage and presenting yourself and speaking confidently. What are some of the key things or the other things that this experience has brought to you?
Well, I know for a fact I have always hated writing. It has never been a strong suit of mine. I'm a very linear kind of person. I would prefer math and science, something with like finite answers.
And a beginning and an end. Huh?
And a beginning and an end. Absolutely, absolutely. So I can talk for hours, days on end, but writing has never been a specific strong suit of mine. And when you apply to be in this pageant, you do have to write an essay about a particular platform issue, something that in the community is important to you. So the first year I did trichotillomania awareness, which is a impulse control disorder that I have. This year I did healthy eating and healthy living for girls. So we have to write an essay about an issue in the community that you want to talk about, that you want to promote, that you want to volunteer with. And then you also have to write an essay, a resume. And so those were two things that took me out of my comfort zone, for one, and also really developed my skills because you don't just turn in whatever it is that you want. You turn in your first draft, Michelle goes over it. You turn in your second draft, Kim goes over it. And all of the people who are involved are completely, nobody's paid. Everybody's a volunteer, and they all really, really think that this organization is worth their time. It's worth the effort.
Well, thank you for sharing the different components of it and your own platform. Maddie, can you speak to what your platform is?
Yes, my platform is Equine Assisted Therapy for the Emotionally and Psychologically Disabled. 2 years ago, when my grandfather died, I went through a period of my life where I wouldn't say depressed because that's a very strong word, but I was having a hard time controlling my feelings and my thoughts. I was very lucky enough that my family bought me a horse for our family, and her name's Star. She's an Arab. I still have her to this day. When I was taking care of her nearly every day after school, she brought a sense of peace in me, a sense of stay in the moment, take each second of life as it goes, and don't dwell in the past. And it was a huge form of therapy for me, and I really want to advocate that for teenagers.
Okay, so your message then is using, well, both of you, you're using your skills to then go out and be an integral part of the community.
Absolutely.
What has that done for you, just in terms of your networking with the community? Because you've talked about your platform, you've talked about your training. Can you provide a little context for what your community experience has been and continues to be? Obviously, today is an example of that. We're reaching out to the community through this, producing the show.
Absolutely. Not only do you get to meet so many different people, you gain the confidence you need. I know for a fact that my favorite part has been talking with Girl Scouts. Not only do they absolutely love the crown.
Whatever it takes to get their attention.
Yes, exactly. But you're able to be a role model. And that's one of the biggest things that has been really touching for me. I am able to talk to girls who otherwise may not listen if you didn't have a crown on your head. And
you're the princess.
Yes, absolutely. I am a princess from a totally different world. And that's one of the biggest things. The networking skills have been amazing. You are able to talk to anyone about anything. You find a place where you have something in common. And so I've gotten to meet plenty of different business owners trying to get advertising for Miss California and for the Miss Marin County organization. And then also community leaders, other nonprofits such as yourself. So it's been quite the journey.
So it's taking you out of whatever your daily routine was probably as a student, a college student, and really kind of embedded you in the community at large. Okay, how about you, Maddie?
I think my favorite was the Christmas tree lighting ceremony in Novato. I am a dancer, and I danced for Love to Dance, a program.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, for 8 years. And I was normally on stage dancing during the Christmas tree lighting ceremony. And this past Christmas, Rachel and I went to the Christmas tree lighting ceremony as Miss Marin County and Miss Marin County's Outstanding Teen with our crowns on our head and our sashes, and it was very touching to see little girls come up to us and say, "Oh my gosh, your crown! Like, who are you?
You're
Are you
a princess? Can we take a picture with you?"
Yeah. And we got to advocate for our program because we also got adults that came up to us and said,
like, what is this? What do you guys do? Why are you wearing a crown? I don't understand. And that's a huge talking point.
Yeah.
You can talk about your platform and you can educate the public on, no, I'm not just a pretty face. I am an advocate. I am a volunteer. I'm a worker bee.
Okay. It's just really interesting because you both mentioned the significance of the young girls coming up to you, and then the crown is kind of like the device or the symbol that really serves as an icebreaker. Really,
it's a lightning rod.
Lightning rod. And so one of the things, and I heard this. He was formerly served. He was a former police chief here in one of the districts in Marin County, and I remember him talking about his being a role model, and he said it's not just to present yourself really well to the community, but you're also looking at all the young people who are behind you looking at you. And he used the term, you take them by the hand, and as you move forward, they move forward with you.
Absolutely.
And to me, that's exactly what I'm coming to understand what you're doing now, and what the role of your being the representatives for Miss Marin and Miss Outstanding Teen, what the impact that has on the community. Can you speak a little bit more, like where did, you mentioned, which was like a significant thing, and I wanted to go back to this too, is that the people who enter this pageant, they receive scholarships. So it's like it's not just the people who are selected in the leadership role.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that a little bit more? Or?
Absolutely, absolutely. The biggest part of the Miss America organization, which is our essentially parent organization, is that every woman, everywhere, deserves an education, deserves higher education, deserves to go to college.
Okay.
It is one of the biggest things that's going to propel them forward in life, that's going to keep them independent, keep them strong, keep them motivated. And so they believe in that very strongly, and so do we. So every person who signs up and puts in the time and puts in the effort and gets on stage and presents herself to the world saying, I am who I am, I'm confident in myself, and I want to be the best that I can be, gets a scholarship.
no matter what.
No matter what.
Win or lose.
That's, and as you said, in your opening statements too, that's unlike any of the other pageants that happen anywhere in the United States.
Absolutely.
So that's
very unique.
It is very unique, and so here you're a sophomore, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you already have a scholarship as well as all the other people who were part of the competition, and you know that now. what is the impact for both of you? Let me just start with you two. What is the impact of just knowing you're recognized for being a very smart person and you have this financial backing now for your education? What does that mean to you?
Well, Rachel and I are running for Miss California in June.
Okay.
And I'm taking singing lessons. My talent is singing. I'm going to be singing Temporary Home by Carrie Underwood, which is one of my favorite songs. And I have to take singing lessons every week, I want to, with Kelly. And it's not cheap. It's expensive. And I took that money that I won, and I'm going to be paying for my own singing lessons every week until June. And it's in preparation for Miss California. And it's not just, here's a wad of cash after you win. It's more, this has to go to your academics. This has to go to something that you're going to be preparing for Miss California. And for me, only 15 years of age, to know that I'm paying for my own singing lessons that aren't cheap, it's very rewarding.
Again, that empowerment and that independence.
Yes.
What about you with the your wad of cash?
Oh my gosh. Gosh, I wish. That'd be fun. Well, I won a $2,500 scholarship, and currently I am at SRJC, like I said before. And I'm a full-time student. I am a full-time worker. I work about 40 hours a week. I live on my own. I have a dog, so I'm just a very busy girl. Not to mention all the volunteer work that comes along with being Miss Marin. So knowing that if I needed to take a couple of days off of work, that's not going to affect whether or not I can pay for my next semester of school. It's a huge burden lifted off my shoulders. And it's not that I was never necessarily able or unable to pay for school, but when you're stressed and you have X, Y, Z, P, Q, 1, 2, 3 things to do, something gives. And it wasn't usually work for me because I was paid to be there, I have to pay my bills, I live on my own. So that was always the thing that gave. That didn't give, and so education did. And that's a problem when you're trying to finish school. So now having this scholarship, work can give, and I can really focus.
It's a safety cushion.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and it seems as though the two of you are using your resources again to enhance your opportunities. And it's not just about the pageant. It's also about who you are and developing yourself, taking singing lessons, communicating your platform to the community at large, and doing all the volunteer work that you're doing, as well as you said, representing the organization at the local communities and being that much of a messenger to many generations. You talked about adults as well as young girls coming up to you too. How do you feel about all of this? Just kind of take a moment and kind of think back to where you were when you first started this process and where you are now, and what's going on in your head. So,
I feel really rewarded. I just thought about where I was before I ran for this program and where I am now. Like we have said, the preparation process was a lot, and I grew immensely. I grew with my speaking skills. I'm now confident enough to talk to adults and have a conversation with them about whether it's politics, whether it's opinions about anything really. That was my number one, and it's going to serve me very well when I'm older and I'm interviewing for a job, just like Rachel has a job.
Okay.
And that was the number one thing for me, and I feel more self-confident in myself with my education, with my speaking ability skills, with my musical talents. I had dropped out of piano 2 years before I started Miss Marin County, and one of the criteria for the competition is talent. And one of the things that I got out of this pageant was I got back into piano.
Wow.
Piano is my favorite instrument, and I think I just kind of, after my grandfather died, I went away from that. And I'm really grateful that I am now back into piano, and I'll be singing for Miss California in June.
Well, it's interesting because you talk about piano and you talk about singing, and music does something different to your brain.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
so amazing.
Yeah.
The feeling I get when I'm playing piano, especially when I don't have any sheet music in front of me, to just sit down and just play whatever I want, whenever I want. It's a beautiful thing.
what an incredible talent you have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For me, I had done the Miss Marin County pageant 1 year before I won. So I've only ever competed twice. And the first year I competed, I remember just feeling confident. I got out on, I had started working out, you know, my anxiety was down, I had started eating better, and I got out on stage. I felt like this is where I should be. I am totally comfortable on stage. I was in musical theater in high school, so I was totally comfortable. And that was a feeling that I hadn't felt in quite a while. And this year, coming back to the pageant, I honestly felt that I understood what was needed and what was necessary to really be a title holder. Because it's not just something that anyone should, I feel, just throw themselves into. There's a lot of preparation. There's a lot. It's a big mental game, really. Because, like we said, the interview, it's a long table with 7 people surrounding it, all asking you questions about you. And if you don't really know yourself, you're gonna fail that part. They want to know who you are as a person, and they want to know that you're confident in that. And that's what really changed for me.
It's interesting. So this interview process, and you both have mentioned getting to know yourself and feeling confident. Can we go back a little bit and highlight the training and see, like, did the training include preparation for the interview?
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
so you didn't just go in and sit down in front of 7 people without any kind of scaffolding that happened in the background?
No, I think we would have fainted.
You definitely have to find yourself. I downloaded the Skim on my phone, and I get an email every morning, and it shows me all the updated events.
Skim, what does that mean?
The Skim of current events, just
Oh,
a
I
summary.
see. Okay.
A summary of what's happening in the White House or in politics around the world.
That.
Yes.
Okay, on national level.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm now I understand more what's going on around me. So when I got into that room and the judges were asking me questions about, what do you think about this election, or what do you think about immigration policy, I had the knowledge to form my own opinion. I found myself in that. And Michelle, the director of Miss Marin, helped us by asking us questions spontaneously, and we would have to answer in a very confident, no ums, no likes, and just know ourselves and our opinions and be confident. And that was a very, very
whether it's agreed upon or not, it was
Yes.
always about how you present it and how you can back that up.
And the judges are trained to not judge you on your opinion if they're different, if their opinion is different. It's, are you presenting your opinion in a way that would make it seem that you are confident and seem that you know what you're talking about,
Right.
whether or not they're
You've done
Democrat,
your
Republican.
research. Yeah,
Yes.
right. You've done your research.
Yeah, luckily I think we have one of the best interview coaches, Kim McNicholas, Emmy Award-winning reporter, and just an amazing, amazing woman. And she has taught us quite a bit.
Yeah.
She's the one who actually recommended Skim, so.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to take notes on that myself. Okay, let's talk about where you are going forward. We only have a few minutes left to the program, but before we kind of wrap up, where do you see yourselves, like, after the Miss California conference, or in the future, so beyond, in your adulthood?
Well, that's always been a tough question for me. Currently I'm a barista. I love what I do. I get to drink coffee all day.
It sort of fuels your energy.
Yes. But I also get to talk. I get to talk to customer after customer. I learned so much about everybody's lives. I've had customers coming to me crying, because their father passed away. So I want to be in the community.
Okay.
That's what all of this has really taught me and my communications degree, I want to be in the community.
Okay.
I want to be speaking. I want to be involved with people.
Okay. And what about you?
Advocating for my platform is a huge thing for me.
Okay, so the equestrian therapy. Yeah.
I have 2 horses of my own, and like I've said before, they were a huge therapy. Star was a huge therapy for me, and I got Tapestry, my other mare. She's amazing. I got her 3 months ago.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so It's a huge form of therapy, and even after Miss California, when we were give the crown to somebody else, the next title holder, I still want to advocate for that because that's a very important part of my life.
So at 15, here you are, already knowing what your career path, well, at least one of the options for your career path. We're right at the time to close, and if you could say one thing, that you'd like to emphasize, just about your experience and all the different things we've talked about, what's one thing that you would emphasize?
I would just love to emphasize that the Miss Marin organization and the Miss America organization is unlike any other. It believes in the girls that it helps. It is completely volunteer. It's a nonprofit that strives to make lives better for women and girls.
Thank you. Maddie?
I think that this competition, whether you're a teen or a miss, is a wonderful experience, and it helps build your self-confidence. It helps build you and find out who you really are, and the support that you have. We have so many volunteers that are constantly helping us and constantly making us feel confident. So when we get on that stage, we know who we are. We know what we want to do.
Well, we're just about out of time now. I want to thank you, both Maddie and Rachel, for being here.
Thank you for having us.
And I really want to thank our crew, which includes Seroptimus International of Novato volunteers, and it also includes the support and work of the Novato Community Television Studio. Thanks to Pam Hazley, Executive Director, and thanks to Marcus for his work in the studio. And again, this is Sounding Board, produced and directed by Seroptimus International of Novato. Thank you very much.